Assalamu alaikum and Dzień dobry, brothers and sisters. Today's khutbah from masjid An-Nur here in Des Moines focused on salat and how important it is, but as different from other khutbahs about salat, today's was the importance of offering your prayer in the masjid. And he said several different hadiths about how important it is to pray in congregation, and it is more so for the men because it is obligatory for men if they have a way to get to the masjid. They are to pray at least some of their 5 daily prayers in a congregation in jama, and if you pray in a masjid for a fajr, you are given a reward from Allah equal to that of someone who prayed all night long. And if you pray isha in the masjid, then you receive the reward of someone who was up half the night praying. So I'm not sure if that includes women as well as men, but this is directed mainly at men, since men are obliged to pray in the masjid as much as they can. And he quoted another hadith about where a blind man asked the Prophet, peace be on him, if he could pray at home because he has no one to guide him to the masjid. And at first the Prophet said yes, but then an ayah was revealed about praying in jama, in congregation, and that it is obligatory on men to do so. And then he saw the blind man again, and he said, "Can you hear the adhan?" And the blind man said yes. And then the Prophet Muhammad, peace be on him, told him to follow the sound of the adhan and go to the masjid. And so that's what you do, if you are in a place where you can actually hear the adhan outside. Where here in the U.S., the adhan is not broadcast outside of the masjid, it's just called inside, and no one outside can hear it. Unlike places like Cairo or Damascus or Mecca or any of those majority Muslim areas where the adhan is heard outside, and no matter where you are, you could hear it. Unless you're down in a hole somewhere. But anyway, so that is the importance of praying in jama in the masjid. But he reminded people that to pray in the masjid is so important that you get these rewards, and not just on Fridays for Juma. And he warned about people who don't come to the masjid when they have the means to do so, especially men more than women, because women are not obligated to pray in the masjid. It's just something we can do, which I love doing. But so speaking to the men on this one, if they can come to the masjid but they choose not to, they they are being disobedient to Allah. And the Imam said, if you disobey the messenger, you disobey Allah. And the messenger, which is Muhammad, peace be on him, gave this direction to the Sahaba, to his companions and the other Muslims, that unless you have a valid reason why a man cannot go to the masjid to pray, for instance, if he is sick, if he is in a hospital or a nursing home, or he's homebound, then and he is not in a condition where he can travel, then that would be a valid excuse. And there might be others. Or if there is no masjid within a reasonable distance, there are some places where someone may have converted to Islam, or there might have been a Muslim community, but then it kind of died out, and the masjid closed, and there isn't another one close. So that might be an excuse, but I'm not sure about that. That was not mentioned. But the example I used said, if you are incapable of travel, meaning you cannot physically go even with assistance because you are too sick or too weak, then that could be an excuse. And he mentioned that it builds up the community to pray as a community. And he talked about another one where during one of the battles that the early Muslims fought against their oppressors, or those who tried to take over the Muslim communities, half of one group of the people would pray while the others would stand around them, encircling them, ready to defend them. Just like if you watch the news during the Egyptian revolution, where Muslims were praying and Christians ringed them. They surrounded the Muslims to protect them while they prayed. And then at another time, Christians were praying in a church, and a bunch of Muslims surrounded the church to protect the Christians while they were in the church praying. So you can, so in a battle situation like this that was how the people were able to pray in jama, in congregation, and still be able to have their defense against their enemies, those who wanted to kill them or kick them out of the land or whatever. So that is another importance of praying in jama. You are together, you are with your brothers and sisters worshiping Allah together, and it builds up the community. So that was another thing that he quoted to emphasize how important it is to pray in jama, and to do so in the masjid. Of course, you can pray in jama in any location. You can have a group of workers, Muslim workers in a company, and they might all assemble to pray during a break. Like say during lunch break, they might all find a room and pray together. Or a bunch of Muslims might be in an airport terminal or a bus terminal, and it's time to pray, and they have to wait for their next bus or plane or whatever. They can just go find a place and pray together, and you have jama right there. You have a congregation right there in that space. So it doesn't always have to be in the masjid, but it is preferred in the masjid, because that's why it is built, to worship Allah. And the thing we humans were created for was to worship Allah. So and the salat is the basis of our worship. So that's how important it is. And of course, if you blow off the salat, then you are basically you're blowing off your Islam. You're not a Muslim anymore. So that was today's khutbah, and a reminder to all of us. If you have no excuse and you still don't go to the masjid to pray, especially the men, you are not being as obedient to Allah as you should be. So, of course, me being a woman, I don't hold myself to this, but I still like praying in the masjid. I still like praying in congregation. And but if I'm there all by myself, I'll pray by myself. I've done that before. And but that was today's khutbah, and as always, anything bad is totally my bad. I can't blame you for anything good. It comes from Allah, because Allah is the source of all good. So until the next time, assalamu alaikum, do widzenia, and miasur mila.